welcome to Brake Check. Today we have a 2020 Ford F-250 Xlt with the FX4 package. Behind the camera we got Brian.
Hey guys.
We're going to walk through this a little bit. We recently did a review on the F-250. That was with the TREMOR package though, and as we proved there, it was more than just a sticker package. Same going on here. So we won't get into as many details on this one, but we got a few unique things about this one. This one's more of the everyday volume seller work truck specs, what this one is. So although it's got a few neat upgrades. So let's...
it's a little more than the XL, it's the XLT. So you have
a little more than the
features.
XL, a little more comfort features. One of the things you get is you get the keypad. And I don't know about you, Brian, but as a previous owner and current owner of some Ford trucks, keyless keypad is very handy. I've been in a bunch of new vehicles. My wife has some different vehicles.
That to me is more important
That's handy.
than keyless go.
Very handy. So let's jump in real quick. Again, this is a little bit more than the XL, not as nice as the some of the other, Lariats or some of those platinum packages.
Ranches,
but you do get the adjustable pedals, you do get the power seats, you do get a tilt and telescoping wheel, which is not bad. This one does not come with a leather wrap steering wheel. You would have to get a
Lariat for that.
Lariat for that.
Which I think is a little, as an owner, I can tell you is a little frustrating. That should be an XLT option.
You would think it used to be.
It used to be.
You do get the optional, screen with this one, with this package, the convenience package that this one came with.
Which is nice.
Which is nice. You get the
heated seats on this particular model.
You get the center console, heated seats. So we got a little hint here for you that this might be a little different than some of the other trucks. You got your gas, your normal gas, but then there's something that's supposed to go there that is not there. We'll get into that in a minute. You get your blind spot radar here. That feature is so when right before you hit the trailer and bash this out, you'll know it's coming.
Yeah, it's still coming, but you know it's there.
Also, as we come around, you may notice something here, a little bit different tailpipe.
I think we're missing something there.
A little different. Your second clue. So we'll just continue on around, coming up to the front, nothing else too fancy other than you do get the optional mirrors on this one, the tow mirrors that extend out and in, their power.
They're not power folding though, I don't believe.
They're not power folding, but they do extend out.
Right.
They do extend out.
The Lariat package has a power folding.
So come around the front here though, Brian, and there's something different under here. This is not the 6.2 or the 6.7. It is not the diesel. It is the 7.3 gas, otherwise known as Godzilla, baby. Godzilla. What's really neat about this one is the packaging is completely different than some of the older overhead cam motors they made. So it's shorter. It's really long still, but it's shorter and it's narrower. It's a lot of space around that helps with cooling, and you get a little bit pretty good horsepower and torque bump over the 6.2. So this is a $2,000 option over the 6.2, $8,000 cheaper than the diesel,
which is quite compelling.
Quite compelling.
Because you still get a good healthy torque number on this.
Yes. We want to thank Mike Brown for allowing us to borrow this today and check it out and let y'all see it. And as always, we encourage you to see Charles Brockman up there. He's the best.
Look, this is more fun than the diesel. Here's why. That's RPM.
Yeah, baby.
And the 10-speed stacks gears.
Woo! Okay, boogity, boogity, boogity. Check those brakes out.
Whoa,
okay.
Brake check.
The brakes work. Ah. All right, Brian, you promised a little more details on this Godzilla.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so we are driving the 7.3 liter.
Yes.
Push rod, cam in block, big block from Ford.
Wait a minute. From Ford?
From Ford, yes.
Are you talking about an LS or a Ford motor?
I'm talking about a Ford motor.
Okay. What is going on? Please help us out.
Okay, so Ford just, I guess, got bored one day and thought, we've got the 6.2.
Yeah. Check.
Great engine, right? It's a little wide in the hips, right? It barely fits in the Raptor. Yeah. It barely fits in the 250. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
We've also got the 6.8.
Yes.
V10.
Yeah, it's in every motorhome.
It's great, yeah.
It's in every RV on the planet.
Yeah, but it's pretty bad on gas.
Yeah, it's not great.
None of them are great on gas.
No.
You know what we should do? We should take that cam, put it back in the block.
In the block.
Which we abandoned.
Yes.
About almost 20 years ago. Well, in terms of R&D, about 30 years ago.
Yes.
In terms of development.
Yes.
And let's try that again.
Okay, just start all over.
Start all over.
All right.
So we have. So they've gone with a 2-valve.
Okay.
Big bore.
Yes.
Now, this is also something we studied earlier, was that the bore spacing, or the cylinder wall spacing, is very wide. So unlike an LS engine, it's a longer engine.
It's a very long engine.
Right. So that's why it's not in the Mustang and will never end up in the Mustang. Because it's
Right.
just, there's a
Without
firewall problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a heck of some modifications.
Exactly. But because of that, it's going to be very, very durable.
Yes.
Cylinder walls are very, very thick.
Lots of cooling. This thing is not going to overheat.
No, it's not. It's
Cast iron block.
aluminum head.
Yep.
This actually has variable valve timing in it.
Okay, that's great, Brian. But so understand what Ford did.
Right.
Why did they do that? I don't understand why they've done this.
Well, I will answer that for you, but
Okay.
I also want to elaborate. When this came out, when this first leaked, they were doing this. I thought, what?
They've lost it. They've gone mad.
They've lost their marbles. Like
Yes.
they've been drinking too much Kool-Aid, and
Yeah.
they're losing it, right?
Yep.
Because the 6.2 is a good engine.
Mm-hmm.
It's very linear in its power delivery.
6.8's very reliable. It's in every motorhome.
They go through manifolds sometimes because of the 5-cylinder length, but still a very robust engine, right?
Very.
So I did more reading on it, did more homework, and it turns out that Ford is very concerned about long-term reliability, which they've done very well with in the 6.2 and the 6.8. The internet will tell you every engine is going to blow up eventually, or
right.
and immediately is going to blow up.
Yeah. The internet will tell you don't ever buy any motor.
Of course.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we've owned the 6.8 and the 6.2.
Yes.
We've actually owned those vehicles,
Yep.
and they have been completely reliable.
Yes.
Okay?
We've also known plenty of people that have owned plenty of other manufacturers' motors, and
Right.
they've been very reliable.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to find an
so
unreliable
it's hard to
motor.
find one that's bad, right? But you know what was known in the diesel world as being unbelievably reliable was the Powerstroke 7.3 that International made.
Yes, it was.
So I'm telling you right now, there is no mistake that 7.3 happens to be the displacement on this engine.
I think they know what they're doing when they went with 7.3
Yep.
and Godzilla.
And Godzilla.
The F-250, you can get a 6.2. That's the base.
Correct. That's
You
the
can
base
get-
engine.
You can get the 6.7 Powerstroke, which makes gobs of power.
Gobs power makes 475 horsepower,
Okay.
1,050 torque.
Okay. The 6.2 makes what?
385 and 430.
What does this make?
It makes 430 and 475.
Okay. And then this is about a $2,000 option over the 6.2.
Right.
Or about $8,000 cheaper than the Powerstroke.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we recently reviewed the Powerstroke in that TREMOR episode.
Yes.
Check out the link below if you want
Yep.
to see more about that.
Yep.
Phenomenal engine.
Great motor.
Incredible on power.
Unbelievable amount of power.
This is more fun.
This is more fun.
This is way more fun.
So this has half the torque.
Yes.
You say this is more fun because?
Because it doesn't liquefy the tires,
True.
or the nannies and stability control don't shut you down immediately at all times on every surface.
Good point. You kind of need those nannies in the other one because it's so powerful.
They're there for a reason. Third. Fourth.
Jeez, okay. Love those brakes work.
Oh,
Jeez. Why would somebody get the Godzilla as a consumer? Why do I want the Godzilla other than those two motors?
Well, it's the Goldilocks scenario.
Okay.
Okay, so the 6.2 in the Raptor is a great engine.
Mm-hmm.
The 6.2 in the Super Duty is less engaging.
Okay, right.
It has less power,
Yep.
and it's tuned a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven both, and the Raptor is more fun to drive. It wants to rev a little bit more, and a lot of that's for long-term durability. They do that on purpose. The 6.2 feels a little underwhelming in the Super Duty chassis.
Okay.
This does
a lot
not
heavier.
feel. It's a lot heavier, right? This does not feel underwhelming
No, it does not.
because the torque delivery is spot on for this type of vehicle.
Right. So that is one of the things they talked about too in this,
Yes.
this motor. So they wanted more torque at a lower RPM
Yes.
for a gas motor.
A relatively low.
So obviously
RPM.
a diesel turbo motor is going to have torque at a really low
Sure.
number, and it's going to have it all day long.
But
Versus the 6.2's torque comes in at a little bit higher RPM, although it's not bad.
it's not bad, but,
But
it
it's
is
definitely,
revier.
it's
Yeah.
definitely revier, and you don't want that when you're towing all the time. So when
No,
you're towing
yeah.
12,000 pounds all the time,
You want roll-on torque.
right, you want a little bit lower torque, so
Right.
it's just for reliability and
So the torque from 2 to 4,000 in this is substantially better than the 6.2.
okay.
And that's really the biggest difference.
And you're going to feel that, especially when you're towing.
Absolutely. And something Ford really focused on as well was the mileage you will get while towing.
Right.
So Ford really targeted the medium duty trucks to have this engine,
Mhm.
meaning like the 450 up to 650 range,
Right.
which are up to the dump truck range.
Right.
Right. So this is going to take place for that 6.8. I think that's really, we're going to see that volume happening.
Right.
I am predicting the 6.2 just goes away
Right.
and this becomes your base engine.
Right. Our best guess, and we don't know. We're not Ford
We don't work
engineers,
for Ford. We don't know.
but it sure seems to me like their business plan is going to be The 6.8 is being phased out very, very quick. Of course, that's a very old motor.
It hasn't been consumerly available for years. It's
Right,
been
right.
It's been dump trucks.
You can only get them in dump trucks and motorhomes forever.
Right.
Well, this is eventually this is replacing that.
Yes.
Plus, I agree with you. The 6.2 is probably getting phased out at some point.
Yeah.
This kind of hits
staggered.
the middle of both those.
It's a sweet spot
And takes care of both of those.
And being a cam in block is cheaper to manufacture.
Absolutely.
There's less moving parts.
And mod.
And mod. We'll get into that in just a second. There's one cam instead of two.
Mm-hmm.
There's one timing chain instead of two.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very simple operation.
There's just a lot less to happen.
Exactly.
Bad. A lot less bad things that can happen with this motor.
Exactly.
You know what they always say about displacement?
No replacement.
No replacement for displacement. That's right.
This is a great example of that.
How many cubic inches?
445.
445 cubic inches.
Yes. Do you remember the Charger 440 that everyone raves about in the 60s?
Yes.
This is 5 more cubes than that.
So I want to tell Ford. I hope Ford's watching because I got a little bonus tip for them that free of charge.
Free of charge.
So Dodge is really good about talking about their cubic inches.
Mm-hmm.
392. Everybody knows what's in those things.
Yep.
All that
yeah.
fun stuff, right? Y'all need to get 445 CI somewhere on the side of this truck.
Completely.
Put it on whether it's on the hood. So it needs to say 445.
What a missed
somewhere.
opportunity.
How awesome would that
How cool
be?
is that?
Okay.
Okay, and the truck market appreciates that.
You're welcome, Ford.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching our video.
Mike Levine, if you're watching,
We're talking
free
to you,
tip.
buddy.
Yeah.
And put a manual in the Sasquatch. One more thing that is exciting about this.
Yes.
When people think of push rods in modern days, you think of the LS V8 from General Motors.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what makes an LS V8 so legendary?
No.
When you put a camshaft and long tubes in it.
Yes.
On Fords, you historically in the sports car world, you need boost to make power. Now, the Ford motors like boosts. They're very reliable with boost. The LS motors have thinner sidewalls. That's okay, because they have cams and long tubes. And they make 500 horse like that every time, okay?
Right.
It is a matter of time until this is shoved into someone's drag Mustang with a meaty cam that lopes like crazy, and has long tubes, and makes over 600 horse, no problem.
In fact, we've already seen somebody's stuffing the sucker into a Fox body.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's going to become more common fare, though.
Right.
Now, I say that, the 6.2, when it came out, was also stuffed into a S197 chassis. Once. That
Yeah.
that the internet is aware of.
Yeah.
It's so expensive and so wide, people quit doing it.
Yes.
I hope to see more mods for this in the future.
Yeah. It's got a long way to go before it gets into any LS legendary territory.
Not
though.
there, not at all.
So we're not close to that.
But this is definitely already in the 460 fuel-injected 7.5 that we had in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
It's already more powerful than that, and it's going
Yeah.
to be just as legendary on reliability.
And so, one of the bad things about these trucks, Brian, I want to bring this up real quick, is on these Monronis, whatever. It says fuel economy ratings not required on this vehicle, and that is true. EPA does not require any heavy-duty trucks to post their fuel ratings. So it's okay. Us here at Brake Check, we've already done the research for you. Basically, what the averages we're seeing across the interwebs is about 14.5 to 15 miles per gallon without a load.
Running empty.
Without a load, running empty, so as we are now. So, now we have not averaged that because we've been hitting that right pedal a little bit. Just tested
6.8.
6.8.
Anyways,
But the internets say you will get 14.5 to 15.
the internet never lies.
Internet never lies. The internet also says loaded with about a 12,000 pound trailer, you're looking at about 8. So
Okay, but a 12,000 pound trailer on the 6.2 was probably in the 7, maybe even the 6 range. Maybe not that bad, but
I'm sure we'll have somebody comment to let us know if we're right or wrong.
that's a good question. So anyone watching, if you've had experience towing with the 6.2
Oh, yeah, please let us
or
know.
the new 7.3, let us know. We're curious because there's no FDA.
Post the
ratings on it.
6.7 numbers up there too, because GM. One of the things that GM does good is they get the fuel economy ratings pretty good on their trucks.
They
So
do, yeah.
curious to see what you've seen in your experience.
Exactly.
Post that and let us know.
All right, well that's it for the Godzilla. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe,
Hit the bell.
hit the bell. Let us know what
Yes.
your heavy-duty truck experience has been, and why would you get this over the Power Stroke or 6.2?
Tell us why we're wrong.
Tell us why we're wrong. We're always wrong. We know that.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Idiots of Brake Check. Thank you.
Godzilla!